This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. It came with a promise of faster, more frequent and efficient service. But new data shows since Winnipeg Transit changed its routes last summer, that's not what many riders have experienced. Pass-ups when a bus is too full to take on new passengers rose significantly this fall compared to last year, leaving thousands of people standing, watching their bus roll right by. CBC's Cameron McLean has more.
On a chilly Winnipeg morning, commuters wait for a bus they hope will have room. Pass-ups have risen since transit rolled out its new route network earlier this year, an experience Una Du knows all too well. How do you feel when that happens?
Feel depressed.
Darian Duclos takes the bus to and from work downtown 5 days a week. He says being passed up has become part of his routine.
I mean, it's like I've kind of learned to expect it now. So like I'll like hop out there and I'm just like, okay, like people like see the blue coming and they'll like start lining up and I'm like, haha, funny.
Pass-ups have always spiked in September as students and workers return from summer holidays, but the number of fall pass-ups has risen steadily since the pandemic as the network resumed full service. This year, the number jumped by nearly 1,200, an increase of more than 20%. But if we look back farther, this year's fall total is still below the peak numbers reached in the years immediately before the COVID shutdown. City officials say pass-ups this fall are in line with 2019, the last normal year before COVID. Public Works Chair Janice Lukes takes it as a sign that more people are taking transit.
Now you're telling me we're having less pass-ups than 2019. I think that's a positive thing. The sad part is there's still pass-ups.
Transit Union President Chris Scott says the new network has created choke points, especially on the Blue Line, and drivers are feeling the pinch.
If the service is unreliable as the old routing system was, we are not better off, we are worse off.
Luke says the city plans to add more extended buses to the Blue Line to increase capacity, but not until next year. The new winter schedule, which began on Sunday, adjusts timing and extends hours on many routes. Changes riders hope will lead to less time standing in the cold. Cameron McLean, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Meantime, the mayor says there could be more help on the way for transit to make those network changes work. The Executive Policy Committee voted today to make a number of tweaks to next year's budget, including adding one full-time transit planner dedicated to making adjustments to the primary network. Now, as you heard, the city has received a flood of complaints since that new network launched. The planner will review routes, bus stop locations, and schedules. Mayor Scott Gillingham says the city is listening to public feedback.
I'm confident it was the right decision to go with the new transit network. I'm not entirely thrilled, to be honest with you, at the number of adjustments we're having to make, but we're making them.
Adding a planner is expected to cost around $109,000. Council will vote on the final budget tomorrow. The safety of municipal and provincial politicians has been thrust into the spotlight this year following a number of high-profile incidents. Recently, one Winnipeg City Councillor used private security guards at a community event. And there are changes coming to City Hall in 2026 to add an extra layer of security. CBC's Josh Crabb reports.
Okay, excellent. If you can proceed, please.
This is the entrance at Millennium Library. Extra security is also common at large sporting events and concerts, and soon for people going into Winnipeg City Hall.
It's unfortunate. I mean, this is the city's building, this is the people's building. But again, everybody needs to feel safe, whether it's the members of the public, our staff, or elected officials.
A new walk-through security desk will be built. It comes following arsons at the offices of provincial politicians and threats at the municipal level too, including this display in a rural community just outside Winnipeg. Visitors coming to City Hall currently have to check in with guards at this desk. Soon, they'll have to go through metal detectors. That's one of the changes coming to beef up security at the building. The city expects the security entrance to be done early next year. Councillor Janice Lukes supports the change, comparing it to the Manitoba Legislative Building.
We make decisions here that really impact people's lives, lands, properties, and we've had many incidents at City Hall where windows have been kicked in.
Lukes recently held a tea and talk in her Waverley West ward. When she heard rumblings of a protest about Winnipeg Transit, she hired 2 private security guards with her ward allowance money.
And that was primarily because I'm the chair of Public Works, and I was getting feedback from citywide that, you know, I'm the most hated person in the city. I'm a dumb animal, you know, really wild comments, right? And I just thought, you know, we'll just have a couple security people there.
The Association of Manitoba Municipalities just released 130 tips for elected officials to avoid harassment, meeting disruptions, and online hate.
What is not a part of democracy, I think, is feeling, you know, personally been threatened by some of these actions.
Councillor Jeff Brawadi isn't a fan of the increased levels of security, but understands why it's being done.
Fortunately, the way the world's becoming, it's security is top of mind.
Lukes, meantime, hasn't ruled out hiring guards for future events. Josh Crabb, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Well, something unusual today. We saw above 0 temperatures in December. It really was the day to get outside and enjoy that mild weather because there is a hit of winter coming straight our way. CBC meteorologist Colette Kennedy has the latest on our forecast.
Thanks, Brittany. Yes, after a mild start to the day, temperatures falling, winds really picking up, and now we get to brace ourselves for what's coming in with this next system moving through Wednesday into Thursday. Environment Canada has issued a winter storm watch, and this is a yellow level of watch for a very large portion of the province. However, a bit further west, they're looking at in Saskatchewan some even blizzard at orange level in there. So we're really going to be having quite the system with the snow blowing around. Snowfall accumulations, some of the heaviest, just to give you a taste, north of Winnipeg to Riverton, perhaps 10 to 20 plus centimeters, more like perhaps 10 to 15 centimeters though, Winnipeg, and we could get some mixed precipitation in here as well. So lots to talk about tonight. Minus 14 with partly cloudy conditions by tomorrow morning. Those winds picking up from the south, but then they'll be shifting around towards the east into the afternoon. Around the lunch hour, snow beginning, and that temperature into the afternoon, -4. Much more on the system coming in when I return.
Thanks, Colette. A fire in a block of vacant businesses closed part of Portage Avenue this morning. It started just before 5:30. Crews were called to a one-story building at the corner of Portage and Banning Street. They found heavy flames and smoke and had to fight that fire from the outside until it was really safe to enter and tackle the flames inside. The structure has 4 storefronts but was vacant, and the cause is under investigation. 2 artificial intelligence companies want to build an AI data center south of Winnipeg. The companies say they want to power the center with electricity generated from burning natural gas. CBC's Bartlett Kivas reports.
Premier Wab Kinew says Manitoba needs more of its own servers and data centers. Computing companies based elsewhere like what the province has to offer. An American artificial intelligence company called Jet AI and its Canadian partner Consensus Core want to build an AI data center on this 141-hectare parcel of farmland north of Ildeshane. These AI companies say this site in the arm of Reachot is perfect because it's right next to a Manitoba hydro transmission line and a natural gas pipeline. They're planning to burn natural gas to create the electricity they need for an AI data center they call a business and technology win for Manitoba. In a statement, Consensus Core CEO Wayne Lloyd says the Ildeshane project would create a made in Manitoba world-class data center, create new well-paying jobs, and also add new local electricity generation to the provincial grid, reducing Manitoba's reliance on imported power. Manitoba Hydro says it doesn't know anything about the Reachot proposal. The NDP government says there is no request to connect a data center here to Manitoba's grid. Adrian Sala, the minister responsible for hydro, says the province is prioritizing projects that keep data in Canada and create jobs.
We need to look at every project on its own merits and then determine what the best path forward with the lens on creating the greatest benefits for Manitobans.
Advocates for the environment question whether AI data centers bring any benefits.
And it doesn't really bring a lot of rewards. Like, it's unclear how Manitobans would benefit from this very energy intensive and water intensive industry that doesn't create very many jobs at all.
The land where the data center is supposed to go was once slated for a cryptocurrency operation, but in 2022, the province stopped allowing crypto miners to connect to the provincial grid. The companies pushing a data center here are hoping for a different outcome. This project is still in a really early stage. I spoke to the mayor of Reachot, Chris Ewan, and he said there are no proposals about it in front of his municipality. Bartlett Kivas, CBC News, near Ildeshane, Manitoba.
Winnipeg developer Andrew Marquis has been ordered to pay the city of Winnipeg $800,000 in court costs. It's all over the Parker Lands development. In April, the appeal court overturned a prior ruling that two city officials deliberately delayed the development. Marquis's lawyer called the ruling on costs a victory because the city wanted $2 million. Marquis is still waiting to hear whether the Supreme Court of Canada will hear his case. A sacred headdress returned. Coming up, the act of reconciliation and what it means to a community. A piece of Long Plain First Nations history has been returned to the community. It was a day of celebration and pride for the First Nation to get a decades-old headdress back. CBC's Gavin Axelrod has more.
grand entry on a historic day for Long Plain First Nation. A headdress passed down from leader to leader was returned to the community. It was first worn by former Long Plain Chief Frank Merrick from 1924 to 1936, then passed to Chief Angus Merrick and later to Chief Marvin Daniels. The headdress was eventually turned over by Long Plain's leadership to the Fort Loraine Museum in Portage la Prairie. It had been preserved there for decades.
I think more of this has to happen, and I think it brings a sense of pride back to the community, but also these objects are very sacred.
4 times.
On Tuesday, it was passed to Long Plain Councillor Randy Merrick, a grandson of Chief Angus Merrick.
It means everything. Like when you say the word reconciliation, this is reconciliation, what we witnessed here today. Bringing 2 different bodies together to return something to one. That's just says it all right there.
The headdress will now live at the National Indigenous Residential School Museum of Canada. It's located on Long Plain's urban land known as Kishkimakwa in the former Portage Residential School. Lorraine Daniels is the museum's executive director. She would like to see more items repatriated to the nation.
This is just the beginning of returning sacred items to Long Plain First Nation.
Elder David Daniels is also a grandson of Chief Frank Merrick and Chief Angus Merrick. Daniels says it's important for the community to recover its culture.
Feeling a sense of relief because we lost our history and now we have it back. And now it's for us to keep and maintain.
The headdress will also be on display Friday at a powwow hosted by Long Plain First Nation, Dakota Plains First Nation, and the city of Portage la Prairie. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Long Plain First Nation.
It was an unprecedented wildfire season, and Manitoba's crews say they are burnt out. The Workers' Union released a new report with a frontline perspective of the 2025 wildfire season. Raging fires around the province left a path of destruction, thousands of people forced out of their homes, houses and cottages burned. Manitoba Government and General Employees Union President says high vacancy rates are a problem, and there were 64 fewer fire rangers than the government budgeted for. Those are the people who attack fires when they're small.
When there aren't enough of them, there aren't enough people to attack the fire when they first start, when they're small. Which means a greater risk that fires become big projects. Which means more communities at risk and more resources required to fight them.
The union says the government needs to hire more people, including aviation personnel. An employee of a potash mine in southeast Saskatchewan has died after sustaining injuries in an underground collapse. It happened early Monday at the Mosaic Company's K3 mine near Esterhazy. The person's name has not been released. In a statement, the company says its emergency response team was activated and all mining activity has been temporarily stopped. Mosaic says there's an investigation underway and is working closely with authorities. It's also extended its thoughts to the employee's family and friends. A Sioux Valley Dakota Nation woman has been sentenced to 9 years in prison for killing a family member. In September, Reiner Christina Williams was found guilty of manslaughter in the 2022 death of her cousin. The Crown asked for a 10-year sentence, citing the senseless nature of the killing and the woman's history of violent offenses. The defense argued for a reduced sentence, citing childhood abuse and trauma. The judge says while he sympathizes with her upbringing, public safety must come first. Businesses in the area where the province plans to put a supervised consumption site are voicing their concerns and frustrations. Officials took questions from business owners last night. The government says the site is in an area that's largely commercial and hundreds of meters away from any schools. But not everyone thinks it's a good fit, and some say it clashes with long-term plans to revitalize the area.
We worked really hard, almost 12 years to get a project on that piece of vacant land, hoping to have another injection of people coming back to the community or service the community. It looks like we're doing one thing on one side with a different set of theory, but then we have another different set of theory elsewhere. What is the priority?
Winnipeg Inner-City Missions is located within the 250-meter bubble around the site. People there also have concerns as the community center is geared toward children.
The impact on our community is going to be that parents are not going to be comfortable with their children being in our area. And I applaud the Premier for identifying in the last round of consultations with respect to Disraeli that he had to identify daycares and schools. But I would like now them to consider community centres that are specifically geared for children.
Another public consultation meeting is scheduled for tonight. Okay, and get that shovel ready because snow is on the way. CBC meteorologist Colette Kennedy has the latest on our forecast.
Thanks, Brittany. Well, every few days we get another Alberta clipper coming through, and this next one is really going to be packing a punch. Lots of upper level support for it, and we've had the Arctic air that kind of digs in behind these systems. For now, for the province, we're talking about, from Environment Canada, a yellow level in their new 3-tiered system of winter storm watch. Now, there are various in provinces to the west of us, various other situations, including some orange level with blizzard in Saskatchewan, but I'm really trying to focus on what's happening for us in Manitoba at the moment. So there's that ridge of high pressure and, of course, the system that's been leaving us. We had that mild air this morning and then cooling down. Here comes this next playmaker, and you can see as it dives southward, this is just largely a snowfall event. There could be a little bit of mixed precipitation as it's coming through into southwestern Manitoba, but otherwise, as we're carrying on, this is overnight Wednesday into Thursday. Tomorrow, the snow starting kind of around lunch hour, light at first, and then as we pull this forward, it carries on into Thursday, all but gone to the west, but still southeastern portions, we're going to be looking at some snow falling and then that cold air digging in, and keeping in mind that there'll be windy conditions in here as well. Just to give you another perspective on some of those totals, Dauphin could be in that 25 to 30 centimeter range. This model, the Canadian model, wanting to give Winnipeg over 20, maybe a little to the north, a little to the south. It's more that 10 to 15 centimeters. Brandon perhaps even picking up that 19, but that's kind of in the area or just south of where we could get some of that mixing. So winds not such a big deal until we start getting later in the day on Wednesday. Then they're really going to be firing up, especially Wednesday night into Thursday, as we get those northerly winds blowing that precipitation, snowfall around. That's where we're going to really see some reduced visibility. It's why there are blizzard warnings next door in Saskatchewan, and we'll be looking at things really ramping up here. So kind of a couple of days, really need to take things easy. If you are able to work from home, be a good opportunity to do that. -12 early tomorrow by noon with the light snow starting, -7, and then -4 into the afternoon. The wind's not too strong at that point. And then as we head into Wednesday night and Thursday, that steep temperature gradient, that temperature falling off. Hey, on the back side of this, once it moves out, we do get into sunshine, but that'll be for Winnipeg later in the day on Thursday, and even then there could be some snow blowing around. More details on this coming up.
Thanks, Colette. And there's much more to come straight ahead. Stay with us.
This is Manitoba. And this is Manitoba on your smart TV, because CBC News is now streaming local. Local news and weather on your connected TV or favorite device. CBC News Manitoba, streaming now.
British Columbia just can't catch a break from the weather. Another deluge is already hitting the water-soaked province. It comes after days of storms, including some powerful winds Monday that became deadly. The CBC's Reiner reports.
After days of heavy wind and rain in BC's Fraser Valley, tragedy struck. Police say a woman was killed by a falling tree on Monday. It happened around 3 p.m. local time at a regional park in Chilliwack.
At that particular moment, the wind had stirred up something fierce. It was heavy rain, and everything was very volatile at that time.
Police say the 27-year-old was with her 2 young children at the time who were not hurt. Darren Clark didn't witness the incident, but often walks through the park and saw police there Monday.
So close to Christmas, I just feel for the family. It's a tough one.
The woman's death took place during a fierce windstorm. Environment Canada says wind gusts reached 66 kilometers per hour in Chilliwack Monday afternoon. Other parts of the Fraser Valley saw winds up to 100 kilometers per hour. Downed trees and power lines left thousands in the region without power Monday, and some outages continued Tuesday. The Fraser Valley has been battling heavy rain for nearly a week, which has flooded homes and businesses and killed some livestock. And the showers continue, so do the threats of more flooding and landslides. Environment Canada is forecasting up to 70 millimeters of rain in the Fraser Valley and other parts of Lower Mainland, with more rain expected for the rest of the week.
We're learning new details about the suspected gunman in the deadly Bondi Beach Hanukkah shooting. Australian police say the attack, which left 15 people dead and 25 others hospitalized, was inspired by ISIS. And their investigation into the father and son suspects is now stretching overseas. They also say the son's car, now removed from the scene, contained improvised explosive devices. All that as thousands of people continue to visit an impromptu memorial site for the victims, including the CBC's Georgie Smythe.
Being here at this memorial, you truly get the sense that this is a community that is forever changed by what happened here. Bondi, Australia's most famous beach, is a place where people would come to be happy and relaxed, go to the beach or one of the cafes nearby. But this area has become a focal point for a national outpouring of grief and difficult conversations around anti-Semitism and gun violence. All day we've seen people coming here with their family and friends carrying flowers, candles and messages, and there's been a huge outpouring of support for the victims, many of which live in this Bondi area. We've spoken to some people who came down here to just bear witness to the unspeakable violence that took place here a few days ago.
We were all just very shocked, so to come down here is quite special to just see what's happening, because we can't believe it's happening in our country.
It's really nice to see all the people who've come out here, like no matter the race or like religion or everything. It's just so nice to see Australia come together, like after, this event. It's pretty sad, but, we'll get through it.
A multi-agency investigation is still underway, and we were told that police have found 2 homemade ISIS flags in the vehicle that the 2 gunmen drove to this location. Police continue to believe that this was an ISIS-inspired attack. The 24-year-old man who did survive the attack is in hospital awaiting significant charges. Police also told us that the duo had travelled to the Philippines in the last month, and the Australian public broadcaster is reporting that that was for military training. As for the political response, there's been a lot of criticism for the federal government here for not doing enough to combat anti-Semitism. When it comes to gun control, both the federal and state governments here are vowing to do more.
The consideration that will take place includes limiting the number of guns an individual can own, the type of guns that are legal, whether gun ownership should require Australian citizenship.
It's the same kind of crackdown that happened almost 30 years ago after Australia's deadliest mass shooting, and one that people say didn't go far enough to prevent another tragedy happening here. Georgie Smythe, CBC News, Sydney.
Prosecutors in Los Angeles say Nick Reiner will be charged with murder for the deaths of his parents, Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer Reiner.
These charges will be 2 counts of first-degree murder with the special circumstance of multiple murders. He also faces a special allegation that he personally used a dangerous and deadly weapon, that being a knife.
78-year-old actor, director, and his wife were found dead from apparent stab wounds at their home in LA Sunday. Their 32-year-old son was arrested Monday, about 6 kilometers from the crime scene. Nick is currently being held in jail without bail. Rob was the Emmy-winning actor and directed many movies, including When Harry Met Sally. Michelle was a photographer and activist. Israel denied entry into the occupied West Bank of a Canadian delegation that included 6 MPs. The trip was organized by a group called the Canadian Muslim Vote. The CBC's Rafi Boudjikanian has more from Jerusalem.
The delegation was planning on being in Jerusalem this evening with scheduled visits to the occupied West Bank on Wednesday to meet with Palestinians displaced by settler violence, and on Thursday to speak with officials from the Palestinian Authority. However, as they tried coming in from Jordan on land into the Israeli-controlled Allenby border crossing, they were rejected.
At no point did we try to hide the information. We were very completely forthright with respect to it. And why did we want to embark on this mission? We wanted to talk to individuals who's been impacted, family members from the Jewish community, members from the Muslim community, members from the Christian community.
One of the Liberal MPs, Ikra Khalid, says she was also shoved and pushed by 2 Israeli officers during an altercation. Israel's ambassador to Canada, Ido Moed, says that should not have happened and will have to be investigated, but he is defending the country's decision not to let Canadians in, insisting the group that's funding this travel is itself funded by an entity that Israel lists as a terror organization.
We've admitted, vast majority of visitors without any questions. And so the issue really is here the link to a terrorist organization, an Israel-listed terrorist organization.
The Canadian group in question, called Canadian Muslim Vote, is a registered non-profit charity organization in Canada. It insists that what Israel is alleging is a smear just meant to stop people from entering the country to witness the suffering of Palestinians. The United Nations says that more than 1,000 Palestinians have been killed on the West Bank over the last 2 years. Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister, Anita Anand, says that she has made her objections clear to the mistreatment of Canadians trying to cross the border. Rafi Boudjikanian, CBC News, Jerusalem.
The federal government has announced new regulations aimed at cutting methane emissions. The goal is to significantly reduce greenhouse gas output. Olivia Stefanovich has the details.
Just weeks after the federal government backed a potential new bitumen pipeline from Alberta to the West Coast, it's announcing new regulations targeting the most potent major greenhouse gas emitted by the oil and gas industry, methane. These new regulations would ban the intentional release of methane and require inspections to find and repair leaks. But the industry doesn't necessarily have to follow these new rules if they can demonstrate that their facilities meet international methane standards. And if that's the case, operators can come up with their own solutions to reduce methane emissions. So too can provinces, something that the Environment Minister is defending, as she also pushes back on the suggestion that the government is failing to meet its climate goals.
I will actually push back on the idea that today is about dilly-dallying. In fact, I'm really excited about today because today is actually where we put into action regulations that are going to reduce the methane emissions in our country. It is one of the most important things that we can do and one of the most cost-effective things that we can do.
Ottawa wants to reduce methane emissions in this country by 75% from 2012 levels by 2030. But it's giving provinces wiggle room if they can demonstrate a plan that meets an equivalent standard. For example, Ottawa is working with Alberta on a plan to reduce methane emissions in that province 5 years after the federal target. And along with the fossil fuel industry, the federal government is targeting landfills, which produce a smaller portion of methane emissions. The federal government also says that since methane regulations were first introduced in 2018, the oil and gas industry, its extraction revenues have increased by more than 70%, while Canada has been able to maintain its methane reduction targets. These new enhanced measures take effect starting on January 1st, 2028. Olivia Stefanovic, CBC News, Ottawa.
A new prototype being developed out of Saskatchewan Polytech could make wild rice harvesting easier and cheaper for producers in the province. A 3-year research project at the school in Saskatoon has led to the creation of these new wild rice harvesters. Researchers have combined their technical knowledge with the expertise of Indigenous harvesters. The result, an innovative rice harvester boat that's easier to repair and maintain.
With our folks in the north, we met with them and had very good, genuine, productive discussions about what their problems were, what could we do to help them. We were not wild rice farmers, nor did we live in the remote regions that we're in, nor did we understand the remoteness of wild rice harvesting patches.
Most wild rice harvesting boats use old engines that are prone to failure and difficult to replace. Saskatchewan Polytechnic made its prototypes using industrial-grade components. The changes are expected to reduce operating costs and increase harvesting capacity. Could another sobering center open in Manitoba? Why one police chief welcomes the idea. That's ahead. Lauren Pelly explains their deaths come as the province deals with a surge in flu cases. And with flu numbers being high across the country, there's a push for people to get vaccinated before holiday gatherings.
Flu keeps filling children's hospitals, and now officials say 3 children in the Ottawa area have died.
But it is unusual to see this number of deaths over such a short period of time.
Ottawa's top doctor says the children were between the ages of 5 and 9 years old, but did not say if they were vaccinated or had any other health concerns. CHEO, the Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario, also says it's facing a surge of patients. More than 300 tests came back positive for influenza in the first 10 days of December, a striking spike compared to the same period last year when there were just 11. Ontario data also shows more than half of flu tests across the province are now coming back positive among kids and teens.
That's sky high. That means the amount of influenza circulating among school-age kids is really tremendous right now.
It's devastating every time that we hear stories like this, because nobody wants anyone to go through this.
Jill Promoli lost her 2-year-old son Jude to influenza in 2016. He was both healthy and vaccinated, but she says you never know for sure who's at risk.
I don't want other people to be in our shoes.
Advocates and doctors are calling on Canadians to get the flu shot, saying there's still time to protect loved ones at many holiday gatherings.
If you got your vaccine today, you'd have a pretty good chance of having some protection 10 days out.
Experts say this year's flu surge is driven by H3N2, a strain linked to more hospital admissions, which also features mutations making it a mismatch for the latest vaccine. This pediatrician says the flu shot is never perfect, but
it's better than nothing.
And in a bad flu season like this, every bit of protection counts. Lauren Pelly, CBC News, Toronto.
All right, we've already seen it today, and really over the next few days, Manitobans will be tested on that new Environment Canada color-coded system. CBC meteorologist Colette Kennedy is in now. And Colette, what is on the way?
Thanks, Brittany. Yes, I know I've shown this graphic a couple times, and I just really want to make sure everyone gets the heads up. So yellow level, 3-tiered system now from Environment Canada, still getting used to it. Yellow, the lowest level, doesn't mean it's not important. Then orange, then red, and it is a winter storm watch for Wednesday and for Thursday, and a good chunk of the province. I will just show you what I was mentioning previously, and that's the orange warning at the orange level for the blizzard in Saskatchewan, because the winds are going to be strong. We could have some of the watches and warnings certainly changing. I expect them to in the province, so you do want to stay tuned. Riley will be back for tomorrow and just keeping you up to date with everything going on. So we lose that one area of low pressure, but the next one coming in much stronger. We get a little breather in between. I guess it's prep time until this system starts moving through. So again, just kind of giving an idea that this area where we'll see the heaviest amounts and north of Winnipeg, 20 centimeters plus possible. South of, it's more 10 to 15 centimeters, let's say. And I've been mentioning southwestern parts of the province that there could be a situation there where you do get into some mixing in Brandon, Melita, through those regions where you might get a little freezing rain in there for a portion of the time. Looking at your hour by hour as we're heading through Wednesday, how about those temperatures really dropping off? Minus 32 to Dooley Lake, minus 27 for Lynn Lake, as that northerly flow will kick in behind the system and very gusty winds. And a little bit further south, what are we talking about? Winkler at minus 10 early tomorrow. Winnipeg, I'm thinking more minus 14, but close there. And then as we're heading into the afternoon, now this system is bringing things in after the lunch hour. It'll be close for the Red River Valley. I think we'll be seeing it probably into the mid-afternoon, but certainly earlier than that, a bit further to the west. Those temperatures do come up a little bit, but I think that's going to be about the last thing we're going to be concentrating on, right? Let's concentrate on something a little more positive to make us feel good. How about Bronte, courtesy of Sarah and Cam? What a sweetheart. I think maybe a senior. I see a little bit of sugar face around the chin. Definitely getting ready for Christmas. We love to see that. And of course, here's a look at what you can expect for the dog walk forecast. I put some yellow paws in there just for the latter part of the day as the snow begins and those winds will be picking up, Brittany.
Thanks, Colette. Winnipeg's second largest city is keeping watch to see how Winnipeg's new sobering center works. Winnipeg's detox center opened at the beginning of the month and now allows highly intoxicated people to be detained for up to 72 hours, up from the former 24 hours. So, could others open in Manitoba? To talk more about that, I'm joined by Brandon Police Chief Tyler Bates. Chief, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, Chief, let's talk about the situation your officers are seeing in Brandon these days when it comes to intoxicated people. Is there a concern in the city?
There certainly is. We've seen a fairly dramatic escalation in terms of the number of individuals that are in intoxicated or drug-altered states. So year over year, for example, we've seen over 100% increase in our numbers. Last year, between July 3rd and November 18th, we had lodged 255 individuals, and over that same period this year, 529. So that gives you an idea as to the type of escalation increases that we're seeing. Certainly pushing our detention facility to capacity and, presenting challenges with respect to current legislation and our abilities to manage these populations.
So, Chief, in Brandon right now, what happens after someone has been held for 24 hours?
Right. So we're still governed by prior legislation, if you will, under the Intoxicated Persons Detention Act, and that means a 24-hour limitation in terms of the period of detention within our detention facility. So we were certainly encouraged to hear that Brandon and potentially other locations in the province of Manitoba were being considered as potential locations for a protective care facility, which would enable longer periods of detention for up to 72 hours. And the reason that we look forward to that day is because we know that many of the individuals that we detain within our facility have not achieved sobriety by the end of a 24-hour period. They're impaired by toxic drugs and substances that have them in a state of non-sobriety for far longer than 24 hours. So that's very concerning. Certainly, even in so much as the client themselves that we've detained, when you're putting somebody out onto the street and you're confined by that 24-hour period, and they're not yet in a state of sobriety, they're vulnerable, right? They're vulnerable to the elements in our cold winter. They're vulnerable to all kinds of potential bad in terms of victimizations.
So your officers right now really have no choice. At the end of that 24 hours, if somebody is sober or not, they have to release them.
That's correct. We are not a designated protective care facility at this juncture. And, as I indicated, we're encouraged to hear that we're being considered as a potential location. And we know that these are tough economic times, and the costs of a protective care center or a sobering center are considerable, right? And so we're patient and we're eager to realize that one day, because there certainly is a need for that extended period of detention capacity within the city of Brandon.
Have any of those discussions involved your office right now about a 72-hour sobering center in Brandon?
Well, I think everybody is informed, because in the provincial announcement, we were mentioned as a viable potential site, not specifically Brandon Police Service, but the city of Brandon. So what that looks like and when that will be realized, we're not informed as far as the development of that, but certainly we're encouraged by the possibility that this might be a reality here one day.
And lastly, you already kind of touched on some of them, but the biggest benefit that you would see to being able to have one of these centers in Brandon soon?
Yeah, well, certainly. I mean, it reduces risk and vulnerability for the people that are detained within our facility. As I indicated, when people are in a compromised state and they're released in that state, potentially, they're at risk, right? They're at risk of all kinds of harms, whether it's the elements or whether it's persons that would have ill intentions in terms of dealing with them. So that's definitely, one of the primary aims. On a secondary basis, which also addresses vulnerability, is the ability to link them to the supports that they might require for recovery, right? So if somebody isn't in a state of sobriety, you can have conversations with them about linkages and supports within the community that might enable them to overcome addiction issues and put them in a position and looks after their long-term well-being. So lots of benefits with respect to being able to have those conversations and having that time to for that person to reach a state of sobriety where you can have meaningful dialogue as to what supports they require.
All right, Chief, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much and have a good day.
All right, this is a live look outside. We are expecting some messy roads over the next 24 hours, and they will be slick. Colette Kennedy is back with your 7-day forecast after the break.
This is Manitoba. And this is Manitoba on your smart TV, because CBC News is now streaming local. Local news and weather on your connected TV or favorite device. CBC News Manitoba, streaming now.
FIFA is slashing some ticket prices for next summer's World Cup after a global outroar over how much they cost. Some fans will be able to get into games for as little as $60 US. FIFA says several hundred $60 tickets will be made available for every match. It will give those tickets to the national federations of the teams playing in each given match. The federations will then decide how to distribute them to its most loyal supporters. Usually it's fans that have attended previous games both at home and on the road. Now, the cheapest tickets before today's price cut were $120 US.
Welcome back. As I've been mentioning throughout the show, we do have a yellow level of winter storm watch from Environment Canada for tomorrow and into Thursday, but we will eventually be clearing actually Thursday, the sun coming out, but temperatures falling. Snow starting tomorrow into the afternoon hours towards the Red River Valley. Earlier than that, a little bit further west, -4 that daytime high, but that snow as it comes will be blowing around with the strong winds, and because of that, there will be reduced visibility. Be aware of that. And as we head towards the weekend, Sunday, there it is, officially becomes winter, even if it's felt like it well before.
All right, thanks, Colette. Well, it's a very hairy Christmas at London Zoo as some inhabitants swing into the holiday celebrations early. Here's your Daily Lift. Okay, these are some very curious capuchins. They wasted little time monkeying around as they rummaged through red stockings stuffed with their favorite snacks. But larger primates, like the resident gorillas, received bigger servings in sacks. Some of the apes may have found a way to upcycle the bags their holiday treats came in, and the zoo is home to more than 8,000 animals. The Magic of Christmas event runs until January 4th. See, everybody loves a little gift at the holidays. Be careful on those roads out there, and of course, tune into our radio station and web for all updates tomorrow. Have a great night.